Nice. Okay. Did you finish the snowball task? I'm just kidding. Okay. Don't say yes. Don't say yes. Okay. Okay. Nice. People might be thinking, Endiro. I'm on the cash. Okay. Today for me, so many issues, so many things. All right. So, guys, today, should we jump on the database section? Let's do that. Let's do that. Share my screen. Okay. Okay, guys. And today we discuss is RDS, Relational Database Services. Do you remember we discussed already a bit on this RDS in our initial classes? That's the reason why it's very easy to understand, guys. So RDS is a database service. RDS is a database or it's a database service? It's a database service. Good. And RDS supports our RDBMS databases, right? What are those? How many engines does it support? Engine. What are those? Mom PMA. Yeah. You remember that, right? Yeah, we'll continue. Do you remember this story? I have so many things that open, I cannot close. But yeah. So do you remember that we discussed in our initial classes why we are moving to this art and all? So I'll just repeat it, guys. So on if you go for on-premises and install some database engine on your physical machine, it's very difficult to manage. You need to have a special DBA for this. Even though you go for the special DBA, and there are so many issues like there is no availability, there is no elasticity, scalability issues, performance issues, whatnot. Whatever I have listed, everything are you have so many issues here, right? You will be having so many issues here. Now, all these issues now have overcome by AWS by launching a service called RDS, right? This is relational database services, and RDS supports only RDBS engines, right? And what are those? MySQL, Oracle, MS SQL, Postgres, MariaDB, and Aurora. Got that, guys? Yeah. So these are so we discussed quite a lot about what are the problems that we used to have on on-premises if you have databases which is handled by you, right? And that's the reason why we got RDS. I don't like to be go with the PPs, but yeah, these are the 6 engines that it support. But mainly, guys, mainly most of the administration task on the database size has been taken off, right? Has been taken off. It's clearly managed by AWS. Guys, completely managed by AWS. What we need to do is, guys, what we need to do is we just go and launch an database instance and configure it and secure it and manage it. One important thing, are we here to learn MS SQL or MySQL or Postgres? How to create a table, how to do all these things? No. So guys, on AWS side, we are here to do the architecting, to configuring, to manage, to to do stuff here on the higher level. So who is responsible? Whose job is this to create the tables? Are we going to create tables? No. The developer's job is to create the tables, because as an admin, as an architect, we are not responsible for doing all these things. Okay, so keep this in mind. Whatever the databases database services that we discuss in our AWS, what we do is we'll go and then configure, set up, manage, maintain everything, but we will not be going inside it and we'll be working. But I'll be definitely show you how to connect and all. Make sense, everyone? Yes. Nice. So RDS is AWS managed service. Keep this in mind. Like, how do we launch an EC2 instance? The same way, here also we have an options. You need to launch database instance. What do we call here, guys? Database instance. What do we call? Database instance. RDS instance. RDS instance. We call it database instance, right? And then remember, we can connect to it. But guys, is it possible to log in RDP or SSH to this RDS instance? No. Keep in mind that we cannot RDP or remote desktop. We cannot do desktop like how we do for the EC2 instances. You cannot do the remote desktop. You cannot do the SSH. Nothing. You can just access it. You can connect it. You can access it. That's all. You can access it or you can connect it. Guys, what are the yeah, we'll come to that. And in RDS, there are two very important topics. The entire RDS. The rest, everything we'll see that in demo class. In demo class, guys, whenever we're launching one RDS instance, we need to follow the things what we have it on the console, right? Those are all very normal things because as we have already learned many services, we no need to go and learn and everything directly. We'll get to know there on the console side itself. But there are two things that you need to we need to talk more about this. Number one is read replicas, and number two is multi-AZ. Let's talk more about this read replicas in our database, guys. Okay, is this clear till here? What do you wanna do? Everything is automated, guys. Everything is automated. We need to just select it, check, uncheck, right click, do it, create it, delete it. You need to do all these 6 clicks, right? So let us talk more about here what is replicas, right? So read replicas are used for improving the read performance. How all? We'll see that. Let's go. Mhm. Okay, read replicas. Read replicas. What is that? Read replicas. So here, let's go and have one. This is our master server. This is a database. Okay, guys. Usually, can we call it as master server or primary instance? Master server, like that. Yeah, it is master server, or you call it as primary instance, the one which we have it. Primary instance. Okay, and then you have your application here on top. So we have application, and application will be writing it and then reading it. Do you agree, guys? Application will be, so you will be writing to the database and you will be reading to the database. You'll be reading to the database. Okay, first of all, guys, from application point of view, what all the things that you need to connect to the database from application point of view? Hmm? Can you tell me, guys, from application point of view, what are the things that need to connect? Developer, can you hear me? Yeah, yeah, why are you so silent? Guys, hmm, what's wrong in chatting? Come on, guys. So what are the, from application, what are the things you need to connect to a database server? If you want to connect to the database server, what all you need? Someone says DB server name. It is something called host name, right? and then you need something called username, and you need something called password, and you need something called port number. There are no developers here, right, guys? So we need these four things definitely to connect to your database from your application. So here, instead of calling host name, we call it as endpoint. In RDS, we call it as endpoint. So application, guys, remember in application we have something called connection string. Connection string. In this connection string, you will be giving this details. All your applications will be connected to a database server using endpoint, using username, password, and the port number. If you are going with some database server, if you're going for, let's say, let's say there is Postgres, SQL. Yeah, PostgreSQL. So PostgreSQL, some port number. You need to mention this port number on the application side, right? So these are the four important things that you need to have it from the application in order to connect to the database server. This is called RDS DB instance. RDS DB instance. Make sense, guys? Guys, did you ever worked on? Did you try to connect to the SQL servers using SQL Management Studio anytime? No one. No one. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Okay. So basically using the SQL Management Studio, okay, don't worry. So because guys, for each and every database, connect to the database, we'll be having a client. We'll be having a client. Don't worry. I'll show you that also. So MS SQL Server, these are all the big database which are not free, and we need a license for that. But the thing is, for each and every database, guys, for each and every database, we will have some client to connect it. Okay, so that's the reason why we don't go on the developer mode. See, whenever you go to the developer side, on the application side, application need, how does the application will put the data to the database server? Meaning using host name, using host name. So we call it as here in DS, guys, we call it as endpoint. What do we call it as, guys? Endpoint. Everyone, every instance, RDS DB instance will have an endpoint. Everyone say this, guys. So every RDS DB instance will have endpoint. Yes. Yes. How does the application, how does the user will be connected to the RDS instance? Using endpoint. How does the user or application connects to the database RDS DB instance? Using endpoint. Using endpoint, this application will be writing to the database and the application will be reading it from the database. This is a normal procedure. This is a normal procedure, right? Okay, now let's say, will there be only one application that will be connected to the database, or there will be multiple applications, guys? Only one or multiple? Definitely multiple, right? So let's say, for example, here I have one application, right? And then here also I have another application, multiple application. Okay. And also there will be few applications which it is used for read purpose a lot. Do you agree? Like generating reports, BI tools, business intelligence tools will be generating reports. They'll be only reading it, writing it. Do you agree with that? Yes. There are, guys, there are few applications which only do reads, heavy reads, lots of reads. And definitely the application has to be connected to the database server in order to read it. Yes or no? Definitely yes. Okay. Now, applications will be reading heavily on the same server, and the multiple applications will be connecting to this main master server for read purpose. Guys, let's say, for example, this DB instance is like a, for example, small. Okay, let's say, for example, this is T2 medium or T2 large or something. Is sufficient? Will it give a good performance? If multiple applications are doing reads and multiple applications are writes on the same thing? No. By the way, is it a good practice that applications which are read purpose are also connecting to the same server which are people are writing it? No. So that's the reason why if we, in order to increase the performance, guys, in order to increase the performance, what you can do is AWS has introduced a concept called read replicas. So here we can create another server DB instance, another DB instance. We can create another DB instance here. And create another DB instance. So instead of connecting, instead of this application connecting to this master server or primary server, now as I have replica, the applications now will be connected to this read replicas. Why we have read replicas, guys? In order to save the primary server. So in order to reduce the load on the primary server. Okay, these are called read replicas. Read replica. Read replica. As the name says, it is read replica. Guys, read replica meaning, is it possible to write on read replica? No. Only reads. Right? Only reads. Only reads, no writes. Only reads, no writes. Here also. Only reads, no writes. Guys, these read replicas, guys, is no. These read replicas, guys, are only used for read purpose. Only used for read purpose, not for the read purpose. Is that clear? And keep this in mind that every read replica, this application has to connect to the read replicas. This application has to be connected to the read replicas. How does this connect? Every read replica will have its own endpoint. His own endpoint. And you might ask, sir, how does the data will be synchronized? That's the headache of AWS, guys. You no need to worry about that. AWS will do the replication from this master, the primary instance to this replicas. AWS will take care of this. Okay. This is a replica. This is replication. This is replication, and this is replication. And guys, this is asynchronous. What do you call? Not synchronous, we call it as asynchronous. Asynchronous meaning whenever someone is writing on this database server, immediately with parallelly it will not put here. Guys, parallelly it will not put it here. It will take couple of seconds or fraction of seconds gap will be there. You understood this? Okay, another important thing. Can I have this database instance in 1A? 1A availability zone? Definitely yes. I can have it in 1A availability zone. I can have it in Mumbai. And your read replicas, guys, your read replicas can be completely in same region or in different region also, in different availability zone also. It can be in different availability zone. It can be a different region completely. And also, how many read replicas you can have it? Maximum 5 read replicas from the primary instance. How many are there? 5 read replicas on the primary instance. Guys, you understood this architecture of read replicas? Why do we have the read replicas? Guys, read replicas are used. Guys, read replicas are used to increase the performance Read replicas are used to increase the performance. Can you tell me, guys, read replicas are used for high availability purpose? Yes or no? No. Read replica. This is the people will get confused. Read replicas are not for high availability, guys. If something goes wrong with this primary server, this read replica will act as a memory server. No, I'm not talking about this. Right? It is only to increase the performance, not for the high availability. Read replicas are not for high availability. I'll keep it as RR. Read replicas are not for HA. Keep this in mind. Read replicas are for HA. Can you tell me, guys, how many read replica? How many maximum read replicas you can have it? Maximum 5 read replicas. And question for you, certification question. Read replicas can be different availability zones. Yes or no? Yeah. Read replicas can be in different region also. Yes or no? Yes. Can be in different ages and cross region too. Read replicas are for read purpose or for write purpose? Is it possible to write? No. Does the read replicas have their own endpoints? These are all certification questions. These are all certification questions. Okay, and let's say now all the time, this is acting as a read replica. Whatever the application is writing the data on this database, everything is replicated to this. For example, in this Ireland, you don't want to have a read replica and you want to promote to primary server. You want to promote to the primary instance. You want to promote to the primary instance. Guys, if you promote to the primary instance, will there be any replication from this master server? No. But remember, anytime you can go and promote it. Anytime, if doesn't want to be a slave, if doesn't want to be a replica, anytime read replicas can be promoted to standalone database. It can be act as a primary server. Is this clear, guys? Till here, everyone? CC, can you give me a couple of minutes, guys? I'll finish up because there is a parallel deployment is going in our company and they need badly, but let me give some inputs and come back. Couple of minutes. Thank you for understanding. Okay, I'm back. Guys, is it clear on this read replicas? Everyone? This is the most important topic on this RDS, and rest all like from console we can do it directly. So like EC2 instance itself, like the RDS database instance will have volumes that are GP2, etc. And then the RDS instance has T2 micro, T2 large, whatever it is, and security groups, same thing. But the only thing is we need to go and we need to talk about curves. I'll be talking about all these things, right? So yeah. So the main topic is here read replicas. That way it's very easy to create, right? And the next major important topic on RDS is, guys, another question. Read replicas is for increasing the performance or for high availability? To increase the performance, not for the high availability. Keep that in mind. So let us talk about something called multi-AZ. What is that? Multi-AZ. The one which we are talking about, this performance is related to this, high availability is related to this multi-AZ. Guys, multi-AZ is for high availability purpose. Multi-AZ is for high availability purpose. Do you remember what high availability? If one goes down, another should pick it up. Yes or no? In our previous thing, guys, in our previous thing, if my master server goes down, is there any high availability here? No. If master server goes down, it's gone. If something goes wrong with this, it's gone, right? But definitely it will not go wrong, just in case, because it is handled by AWS. So if just in case, if you need a high availability on the database side, yes, that is the concept which is called multi-AZ. What is that called, guys? Multi-AZ. Let's say this is my database. This is my RDS DB instance. RDS DB instance. Okay. Let's say this time I'll go with MySQL. Okay. And this is called my primary server. Yeah. Called primary server. Or you call it as master server, how you're comfortable with. And this has endpoint or not? Definitely it has an endpoint. Okay. Now, all the applications will be connected to this endpoint. All the applications are connected to this endpoint, guys. Nice. Now, what if this goes down? What if this goes down is the concept. Okay. This multi-AZ is just a box. Guys, what is this? A checkbox. Multi-AZ is just a check. There will be an option called multi-AZ. It's a radio button or checkbox. You just need to enable that. That's all. But you not go and blindly enable this multi-AZ without knowing about multi-AZ. So multi-AZ concept is whenever you launch a database instance, if you enable multi-AZ, guys, so for this existing DB instance, parallelly, there will be another DB server will be created, which is completely managed by AWS. We cannot see that also. It's not visible. Guys, it's for high availability. AWS will take, if you enable multi-AZ, let's say, for example, here, this is T2X large, for example. You're going T2X large, right? If you enable multi-AZ, another T2X large, the same configuration machine will be created, but will not be visible. It's not usable for you, guys. It's not for us. It is handled by AWS. Just in case if this goes down, okay, and definitely there will be a replication from here to here, right? Without replication, we cannot, this cannot have the same data of my primary machine. So replication will be happening here. Replication, replication, and this is synchronous, right? And this is synchronous. Guys, now, just in case if this server goes down, just in case due to some XYZ reasons, there will be automatic failover will be happening to this server. automated failover is happening to this server, guys. This completely managed by AWS. We no need to do anything. It's just a checkbox. Automatic failover will happen. You might have a question, sir. If applications are connecting to this endpoint, this failover endpoint will change. In this case, endpoint will change, guys. No, endpoint will not change. Endpoints remain same. Certification question. In multi-AZ, endpoint will not change after failover. So that meaning on your application side, you no need to do anything. Just enable this and AWS will take care of your failover. If something goes wrong with the server, automatically it will be redirected. So endpoints are same. Endpoints are same. Since makes sense? Yep. Yeah. And guys, this multi-AZ concept, you can enable it. You can enable it on the read replicas or on this. Whenever you're creating a read replica, you can enable this multi-AZ concept. Just in case if something goes wrong with this read replica, another read replica will be created automatically. If something goes wrong with this master server, if you enable multi-AZ, multi-AZ is a feature. If you enable it, it will be available. So keep this in mind. You can enable multi-AZ for RR as well, for read replicas as well. All certification questions, guys. But the twist here is, if you enable, this is for high availability. If you enable multi-AZ, let's say if you are paying 500 per month for this machine, for example, if you enable multi-AZ, you need to pay $1,000 per month. It's double. Multi-AZ is double because it has to maintain a standalone server again with the same configuration, right? It's a 2 servers. And that's the reason why it is double. So keep this in mind. Blindly go and do not enable it. Multi-AZ is costlier. Multi-AZ is costlier. Keep this in mind that for multi-AZ, charges are doubled. People will go and enable this multi-AZ in order to have high availability, and they will end up with multiple with lots of bill in their actual real time. But keep this in mind. You should go and educate them that, hey, if at all you require, go for multi-AZ. If not, if you want to save the bill, don't go for it. Guys, is it possible to do RDP and SSH to your databases? You cannot do SSH or RDP to the database instance, right? You can connect to this RDS databases using clients. You can connect to the DB instance through clients. It's a service only. Good one. Hey, is this clear on this multi-AZ? Nice. Good. And rest are all normal things. Let's see what all the RDS supports. Let's see what are the RDS supports. Guys, definitely backups are automated here. You can take the backups of the databases. But we should not call it as backups here. We should call it as snapshots. What should we call it as, guys, here? Snapshot. Backups, we call it as snapshot. But don't worry. Don't get your EC2 snapshots here. The backups are called snapshot. Guys, there are two types. Can you take man backup and also automatic backup, right? If you enable automatic backups, automatic backups will happen at that particular time. right? And anytime you can go and take manual backup also whenever you feel. Make sense? What are the backups called in RDS? Snapshots. How many types of backups are there? Two. What are those? Automatic backup and then manual backup. And also you can encryption. Encryption is very common. And then you also have a concept called storage. Storage. Storage here meaning the volumes, which is like GP2. Remember IO1, IO2, IO3, etc. You can mention all these things, whatever the volumes that you need, right? And what is the maximum volume size here? 16 terabyte. Very good. And then you have a concept called instance type. You have a concept called instance type. That is called, you can select any family. What is your favorite family? What is your favorite instance type? What's your favorite instance type? T2 micro. Okay. And also you can go and select the security groups, which is a group that we usually select. Default security group. And you have a concept called read replicas that we discussed. We have a concept called multi-AZ that we have discussed. Right? And then you have also a few concepts like monitoring, like performance insights. Performance insights. Performance insights mean it's like a dashboard. How is your databases are going? What are the how many people are connecting? What are the applications are connecting? And if you want to see the monitoring on the databases, of course you can go do that. And also, whenever you take the backup, there is something called retention period. Hey, retention period meaning how long, how many latest backup you want to keep it. Guys, in general, in your actual companies, for how long will you keep the databases backups? How many days? Maybe 7 days or 10 days. So here, this RDS supports maximum 5 days. So you can have backups continuously. Last latest backups, 35 days latest backups, you can have it. But of course, you can put 7 days also. This is a maximum. Whenever there is an automatic backup happens, the previous backup will be deleted because 35 days backups will be only kept based on what the number you have provided. You can go for 7, 10, 15, 20, whatever you want. Can you tell me here, guys, whenever you do whenever you do the manual backup, will there be any retention period? Will it be automatically deleted? Manual backups? Very good. No retention period. No retention period. You need to delete. You need to delete it manually. Otherwise, it will be forever because you took it manually there. And interestingly, guys, there is a concept. Okay, there's a question after a long time. If you want to have an older than 1 year data is not polygated, take the manual backup and put it to S3. Hmm? But in general, the clients and all they don't need 1 year backup. Yeah, right. But you can take the backup if you have that kind of things. This RDS supports only you can keep in maximum 5 days, but manual backup you can take it anytime. You can push it to S3. It will be stored there for years if you need. There is an interesting call. We know about auto scaling, but have you heard about auto scaling on storage? No. See, storage meaning, let's say whenever you create a database, or whenever you launch a database DB instance, definitely you have to provide the volume, right? Volume size. Let's say, for example, 100 GB you have provided. Maybe after a couple of months or 6 months, the data will reach 100 GB. Na? If it reach 100 GB full, your database will work. If storage is full, database will work. Definitely no. Database will not work. And database will not work in that case if the storage is full. So you have to go and increase the size manually. If you don't want this kind of thing, this kind of, whenever you are setting up the databases engine, right? So here you give your 100 GB, that's fine. But also can give some maximum value car 1000 GB, 1000 GB. So here, whenever this data is reached, whenever the data is reached 100 GB, it will not print you. It will keep on growing until 1000 GB automatically. But remember, guys, how much ever the data you have used, you need to pay only for that. For the maximum value, you don't need to pay until unless you use that much size. It's just a maximum value. Guys, in our auto scaling, we have mentioned 10, maximum as 10. Do you need to pay for 10 for just number that you have given? No. If at all you scale out for 10 machines, then you need to pay. The same concept here. You are using 90 GB, but maximum you have given 1000 GB. Do you need to pay for 1000 GB? No, right? You need to pay for only that how much you have used it. But if you have this auto scaling on the stage level, you can easily, you can take rest and you can be relaxed because automatically it will increase till 1000 GB. Whenever it reaches 1000 GB, same problem, increase it. How maximum you can increase it? 16 terabyte you can increase it. Maximum you can increase it to how much? 16 TB. Guys, you got this? Everyone? So these are the very, very two important topics of RDS, and rest everything we can see in the console itself. Clear? And these are all the things that we have is support encryption security. And guys, DB parameter groups, don't worry, these are all like it is like a global schema. Developers will take care of it. If they need to provide some schemas like globally, they can go for these parameters groups, and rest performance states and all that will. But I just wanted to give a few little bit insight on Aurora, guys. Do you remember Aurora? Who is the owner of Aurora? AWS. It's an AWS baby, right? AWS baby, right? Yeah. So this Aurora supports MySQL and Postgres. These two database Aurora supports. Whenever you're going and creating Postgres and MySQL, it says, hey, try Aurora. Na? And because AWS claims that it is 5 times faster than MySQL and 3 times faster than Postgres. It gives super performance. Aurora will give super performance. If you have a requirement that you are going for MySQL and Postgres, you can give a try for Aurora, because it is, AWS says it is much faster than you MySQL and then Postgres. And this Aurora has extraordinary features. You know what? It has a concept of self-heal. Guys, self-heal, auto increments. It is a HA native. You don't need to specifically mention enable high availability, or you don't need to mention specifically the automatic auto scaling on storage level, etc., etc. Everything is self-healed, self-automated. And guys, in RDS, how many read replicas you can create for the rest of the databases? 5. And here you can create for Aurora 15 read replicas you can create. How many? 15 read replicas you can create. 15. It's too much, right? And the failover is HA. By birth itself, it has a failover concept. So the customers will not need to worry about something is failover happen, because it will self-heal. Even the customer will not know that something has happened in the backend. And the replication lag between your master server and replica servers is only 10 milliseconds. As it is giving so much of feature, it is little bit more costly than your normal RDS. Yeah, that's what here you get 15 read replicas, and then it supports cross-region replications, and then self-heal, self-replication, auto-expanding. Everything is automated, guys. And also not funnily, see, as you have 15 read replicas, did we learn that every read replica have their own endpoints? Yes. If you have 15 read replicas, you will see endpoints, which is very difficult to manage, right? So in that case, you can create a common read replica and you can use that common endpoint, basically common reader endpoint. And if you connect to this, that will be the traffic will be distributed across multiple read replicas. That load balancing on the read replica endpoint is also possible. So if you want to go for this endpoint, if you want to read it, go for this common endpoint. You will have super high performance here because you have backend 15 read replicas and you have a reader endpoint here, which is automatically pushing the traffic to the multiple read replicas. How beautiful is this, guys? Right? And this has gone even to extreme now, this Aurora, and now it has become serverless also. Till now, we have discussed about the serverless. Now it is serverless. You don't need to mention any instance size. You don't need to mention anything. Just automatically, it will increase the performance, decrease the performance based on your load. That is the latest on Aurora they are building up. I think they already have it now. I'll talk about what is this capacity units in another service, but a short on Aurora, guys. Is this clear, guys? Everyone? The main concept or here is the read replicas and multi-AC. Rest everything we'll see it in demo in our lab. In lab also, I'll make it bloody simple because if you learn only one page and whatever you do, that page will be repeated all the time. If you create a read replica, same page. If you're restoring a database, same page. If you're doing something, same page. Same configuration, same parameters. What are those parameters and all? We'll see tomorrow. Guys, take photos. And then this. Excellent. Guys, can you give me the final CC for today on this topic? Nice smiles. Excellent. Guys, that is all today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the RDS lab. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Good night.